So you should already know by now that Pistols Only has quite the amount of resonance chains. And in this video, Galbrena is back on the banner, so we are going to be adding some more resonance chains to that list. I'm hoping to get her to S3, but I honestly don't really know which one. Obviously, S6 is my ultimate goal, but I just kind of want to get more copies of her, but I'm hoping for S3 today. I think we should have enough to get to S3, and that will give our Resist Liberation a 130% damage multiplier increase. I am sitting at a pretty decent 127 pulls. However, we are only at, I believe it's like 3 pity. Yeah, 3 pity on a 50-50. So getting 5-star will not be a problem. 125 pulls, I think, is pretty much enough to guarantee. And before we move to Galbrena's pulls, I have been saving quite the number of the Illustrious Tides, and we're going to spend them on the new standard pistol because I have plenty of the Static Mist. So we'll dump a couple of these standard banner pulls in. Okay, sure. Start us off with a 5-star on here. We'll dump a few of these pulls before we jump over to Galbrena. These are guaranteed, so there is... oh, really? That's our first one. I already thought we had one, but apparently not. So there's our first of the new standard 5-star pistols. And now for our last pull on here. No 5-star. So we see the new pistol. We don't see any like doubles or earlies there, but that's fine. We get the new pistol. I think it's pretty good on Lene. However, I already have Lene's signature, so I don't really need it. But it's better than a like 8 billion Static Mist. But that is not what we're here for. We are here for at least 3, hopefully, Galbrena. So let's jump straight into these 127 pulls. This could most likely take a while. Unfortunately, 4 stars are garbage, but that is to be expected. We don't get the pistol characters super often, at least on a banner that also has a 5-star pistol character. So we should be seeing a 5-star in this pool or the next one, and we just have to win that 50-50. Not going to be this pool. We get double Sanhua though, which is something. She's already S6, so we just get the Coral and massive mana lag. So there's the 5-star. Maybe because there was so much lag, it's going to be a double 5-star, and it's going to give us double Galbrena. So are we going to see 50-50 win? Oh, let's go. That's a beautiful start to this. 60 pity or thereabouts, 50-50 win. And we grab our S2 Galbrena. I absolutely love that gotcha animation. It is insane. Okay, no double, but 50-50 win, so I can't complain. That now means we have 57 pulls to try to get another copy of Galbrena. It should get us close enough to getting an actual 5-star, because that 5-star was at about 60 or so pity. So this should get us within the realm of a 5-star. And once again, we just have to win 50-50. We go into our last 10 pull we can do, and we do not see a 5-star, which means I am 450 Astrite short of doing another 10 pull. And that 10 pull should be our S3, or at least it should be another 5-star. Now, I could just buy these if I wanted to, but I think I am able to just buy another copy of Galbrena, which is something I am going to do. We will do that, but I'll get back to that. We'll do it at the end of the video. So I'm going to quickly go grab 450 more Astrite. I should be able to do that somewhere, as we do have a few events and bits and bobs that I have yet to do. You know, actually I could do one, let's go deposit all of these things. And then I could also go do Tower of Adversity, because that will give us 450, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I kind of forgot about this. Because we can just buy another copy, we'll be able to guarantee S3 today, even if I don't win this 50-50. But if we do win this 50-50, we can get S4. Or, even better option, triple 5-star, win all 3 50-50s, and then get S6. That would be the ultimate outcome. It'd also be the most unlikely outcome, but that would be a pretty sick outcome. If I can quickly grab a few Astrite from this, that would be lovely. Glacio res is increased, that kind of sucks, but this first 2 is good for Galbrena. Second 2 are kind of good for anyone. This is Glacio focus, so I could use Carlotta over here, and then use like Chacona over... No, definitely not Chacona over here. Yeah, I think for now, we're just gonna get the side ones done. So I'll just chuck in Carlotta, and I'll literally just solo this entire Glacio focus side with Carlotta, because I am very much able to do that. Or to be honest, I could probably do this and then solo the other side with Carlotta. Would probably make more sense, because Carlotta doesn't really need the Glacio res decrease. she does enough damage on her own. I would like to get a rerun for Chacona though at some point, because I would like to get her S6, because for this aero team, Alto doesn't do a whole lot, so Chacona just kind of carries the whole thing, and that's fine, but she's not really a purpose-built DPS, so for a, sub DPS kind of character to be soloing is generally not the most optimal, so I would like to get her to S6 at some point, so she can maybe do that soloing a little bit better. But she is only, I think, S3 at the moment, so I probably would need quite a few more pulls to do that. And with me also wanting to get S6 Galbrena and Lene, there's a pretty high chance we won't get S6 Chacona anytime soon. Floor 4 could be a little bit tricky, because as I just mentioned, Chacona is not like a DPS, nor is Alto, or at least a very good one. That did 150, 2,000? That's, oh god, there's a boss. That's actually really good. We're gonna reset this first one so I get full Carlotta usability, and we'll just quickly run that with these two. Actually, you know what? The first side's so basic, we could probably just solo it with Alto. Not that it's really gonna affect anything because it's one vigor point, but still, it might free up Chacona for something else. And then I'm gonna try to do some mixing and matching with the two sides to try to fully clear them without touching Galbrena, because I want to use Galbrena for the middle one. Lene also exists, but she doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I do want to build her as a DPS at some point, because that would be fun. I know I was saying for like ages I wanted a good pistol support character, and now that I have one, I want to turn her into a DPS. But I think she would work pretty well as a DPS. I'm just kind of waiting till she reruns so I can get some more copies of her, because that would make it better. I must say, Carlotta's freeze in her burst, like where she freezes the enemies, is lovely, but it doesn't last long enough to constantly freeze them while you're using her burst, which really annoys me. You do an attack, they freeze for a little bit, and then they unfreeze before you can do your next attack. So you never actually have them frozen during your burst, and you're very susceptible to damage in your burst, shall we say, because she needs to just be doing a bunch of normal attacks. And yeah, it's not great, and it does really annoy me like that. I was in the middle of an animation and got hit. There's nothing I can do about it. They need to increase the duration of her freezing. During her heavy attack is fine. That's good. During her skill is also pretty good. It freezes him long enough. But her burst, where she is most susceptible to damage, it doesn't freeze the enemy for long enough. I'm coming back to that. We're gonna go over here. Now this is a horrendous team to bring, because all these enemies are arrow resistant, but it's low enough level where we shouldn't have a problem. Although now that I think about it, we will need to do the floor 3 with this. That is going to be a problem. Although now that I think about it, you know what I could probably do for that? Run a full team and just throw Lene in there, and Lene can probably solo it, because I kind of want to leave these three, the 3 fusion characters, to throw all together with Galbrena, so I can see some big damage out of her. But we'll just do this with Lene, I guess. There's only 2 enemies, I think, so that's not too bad. Not gonna lie, Lene actually kind of works. She doesn't do the most amount of damage, but that was actually pretty easy. Let's try to solo this with just Carlotta, and if we can't, we'll just throw Lene in. Although I think this is just one singular boss on this side. Yes, it is. So probably more worthwhile to throw Lene on the other floor 4, where we have more than just one boss. Well, we have about 50, well actually no, yeah, about 50 seconds left. This actually looks pretty doable. I'd like to get Carlotta's burst up again, but we don't need it. There we go. Easy peasy. So that is that side done. Let's jump into this last floor, and we'll throw in Lene to join Carlotta. And these two should be able to deal with these enemies, hopefully relatively well. That went substantially better. Lene must have increased Carlotta's damage by a lot, because we just shredded through that boss with just like one burst. But that now means we can get enough pulls to go for S3, or to get one more 10 pull, which is hopefully going to give us S3. So hopefully this is 5. Okay, wait a minute. That was supposed to be a 5-star. This will be a 5-star. This single pull right here. This will be our 5-star. Never mind. No, it won't. I was kinda hoping for that to be a 5-star. Let me go grab a few more pulls from somewhere. And to get those few more pulls, I'm gonna play some cards. Okay, well there's a few games of cards played, which should give us enough to do one more pull. So hopefully this is gonna be our 5-star, because we are getting close to 5-star Pity. Okay, never mind. So we're going to go back in here, and I believe the next part of this event is making drinks. And I'm probably going to need to look up some guides for these drink parts because I can never remember how to actually create them correctly. They always end up slightly wrong, or very wrong in most cases. Although I do want to try this without looking at guides and see if I can get it correct. Hey, would you look at that? First go, we get the favorite drink. I think it helps when you actually look at their reactions to what ingredients you click on and actually read what they say they like. That tends to be a good way to do this because when I did it on my main account last, I just kind of brute forced my way through it. Didn't work even remotely. I know that they slightly changed their order. There's like 3 different versions that it can go through. So it's probably not going to be the exact same as when I did this on my main account. Hey, no way, we got to first try again. Yeah, no, it actually really helps because they actually just give you a prompt when you actually click on the right ingredient. They'll be like, yes, I want this. Makes it very easy actually. So like we could just click on like that and that's not the right ingredient. That one though, that one is the right ingredient. I just need to make sure I get the amount of it right. And then we chuck in that and boom, we got it perfect once again. Now that should hopefully give us a few more astrite. Probably only enough to do 1 more pull, but maybe that's all we're gonna need. Probably not though. Actually, we might get maybe 2 pulls out of this because we are claiming quite a few stuff. We go here, we can do 2 more pulls. Okay, pull number 1. I don't even remotely know what PD this is, but okay, there's the 5-star. Please win this 50-50. S4 would be so good. God damn it. I don't even, no thank you. Well, that kind of sucks. I mean, we got 1 more pull, so, you know, back to back would be kind of sick. But we don't see that. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Although, I mean, we can just go in here and boom, there is S3. And we're not going to buy any more of these because there's literally no point. So, not S4, unfortunately. It would have been really sick to get S4. But we now have a S1 Calcharo. Sick, can't use you. Our Galbrena can go up to S3, which is what I'm looking forward to because bigger resonance liberation damage, and her resonance liberation already does quite a bit of damage. So now, before I jump back into the Tower of Adversity and see how she does, let me check her echoes to make sure they're okay. So I think the only thing I can really do right now is to try to get this slightly better. Why am I using this piece when there is this piece? I mean, it doesn't have heavy attack, it's just trading ER for crit damage. Why didn't I use that? I genuinely have no clue. So Galbrena sits at a lovely 68.7 to 284. I think one of the reasons actually I was running her on the other one of these is because this had slightly more crit rate. So we'd sit at more like 71, I believe. But I mean, the difference between 68 and 71 is not the biggest, and we are getting more crit damage. We lose about 3% crit rate, but we gain 12% crit damage. So it seems kind of fair. And then attack sitting at 2000 attack, which is quite a lot, I must say. 2100 is, that would have to be the most. Yeah, that is the most on this account. Thought so. Let's go see how well she just shreds through Tower of Adversity. So we're going to run Galbrena. That's not Galbrena. Galbrena with Mortifi and Chisha. Full fusion team. I believe full fusion is the best we could possibly run for Galbrena unless Lene might work, but I think this team should be good enough. So let's do a quick little rotation. I actually don't know what my rotation is. I'm just kind of spamming stuff. We are seeing quite a bit of damage. I can't actually really tell what that damage is because there's quite a lot of it. I would really like to get that dude's shield down before I swap back because Galbrena's running on not a lot of HP, but that should get rid of it. There we go. But what damage are we seeing? I'm seeing some 11,000, some 60,000, 25,000. Yeah, that's quite good, I must say. 60,000 off a normal attack in a burst. I mean, I don't really want to do the maths on that because that's a lot of numbers to work out. But that's quite a bit of burst damage she's doing, counting like her entire burst rotation. Plus that Echo does 30,000. And without her burst, she does like 4,000 or 5,000. She just died in her burst animation. That's something. Well, I should be able to finish this off with the other two now. Well, we'll move on to floor 2, and hopefully we can just shred through this one just as easy. Although I'm going to do this rotation different. I'm doing Chisha first because Mortifi's the one giving a shield, I believe, and I kind of want that shield for Galbrena and not Chisha. Chisha's just kind of here for extra damage. She doesn't really need to get her rotation in, really. But I might as well throw her in to get a bit of damage out. There probably is going to be a boss after these two, so hopefully we have enough time, but that just shredded through that. We shred through this enemy very easily. And now we're up against the Tempest Method. I can never pronounce that dude's name. And there goes a shield. And was that 91,000? I think that, yeah, that's 91,000. My god, okay. Galbrena just literally shreds through everything. Please remove the boss, thank you. We can't really continue with this because we don't have the characters to do that. But that was very easy. And I could probably, if needed, take Chisha off the team if there was a side that buffed Chisha, which there isn't because she doesn't do enough damage on her own to go in here. But I mean, I could probably throw with Lene if I build DPS Lene, and that would probably work to clear one of these side two, which means we could run Galbrena Mortifi here, and then just solo Carlotta, I guess, for these last two, which, my god, would be difficult, but there's a potential that could work. Or we could build Lene to do enough damage so she can solo one of the sides, and then we can throw Carlotta and Chisha together. That really won't make a massive difference, but it will just mean that I can do outro skills, which is the main thing I lose when I start soloing. Outro and intro skills are very, very useful because it takes away the shield quicker, which is something I appreciate when I don't have any sustain and am only using one or two characters. Galbrena shreds even more through everything, and I'd say she'd be pretty close to Carlotta level now almost, depending on the enemy, obviously. She honestly is up there with my S6 Carlotta level of damage, which is insane, but Galbrena has always been one of the best characters on this account. So, with that being said, that is where I'm going to leave this video off. If you like this video, go check out the first pulls we did for Galbrena when she first released. And with that being said, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.